cannibal and that he had sex with goats. And none of it bears out. Ottis Toole grew up in what was at the time one of the most dangerous and poorest parts of Jacksonville, which has since regentrified a lot. Springfield, the neighborhood where he grew up, is now a beautiful, thriving neighborhood of Victorian architecture, the architecture that he didn't burn down. And he became really good at finding out what people wanted to hear and giving that to them.
Okay. Now, you're extremely dismissive of the whole satanic possibility, even the possibility of it. And you base this on these other cases which you describe as satanic panic, the McMartin preschool and these kind of cases. Now, have you spent the same time researching those kind of cases to come to that conclusion? I'm saying, did you come into this case already dismissing those other cases, or did you actually look into them?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Sure.
I did not. I came into researching Ottis Toole. In fact, I came into it calling him Otis Toole because, we had heard of Otis Elevators and Otis Redding and so on. But I had never heard the name Ottis before, even though it has two T's. I came into it believing the things that I had heard, believing that he, dug people up and, was a necrophiliac and so on. I kind of thought, well, that's established record. And so I have to say that the process of doing the research for Stalking Ottis Toole was a process of educating myself as to the ways in which police sometimes want confessions when there aren't confessions there, the ways in which police can offer information to the people they are interrogating, ways in which the most salacious things that are spoken into public space are often the things that are most believed. Let me give you a couple of examples of I think the disparity between the Ottis Toole of mythology, which granted is mythology that he himself told, and what I think is real. So in the appellant brief in the 1983 Florida Supreme Court case for George Sonnenberg, who was the man in the boarding house that Ottis Toole set on fire on 2nd Street in Jacksonville, and Sonnenberg died. The brief says the trial court clearly ignored the medical evidence of Toole's borderline, in the words of the time, mental retardation, personality disorder, and long-standing brain damage, and further ignored the entire testimony of Vernon Toole that his brother was a slow learner, a loner, and different, suffered from spells, and received an injury as a child when he fell on a nail. Actually, the nail went into his head, and he was too poor to receive medical attention.
Oh, God.
There's if you look at I think some of the most fascinating of all of this is the transcriptions of Toole's interrogations when they were asking him about Adam Walsh. It starts like this. They asked him what the boy, meaning Adam, looked like. And here's what Ottis Toole said. He said, he had blonde hair and kind of curly. I'd say it could have been curly or wavy or in between. I'd say it wasn't no straight-bodied hair. And he had on a pair of dungarees and a blue shirt. And I know he even had a pair of mittens on. The transcription of the police interview says mittens, but the police reported it a couple of weeks later as saying sneakers because that actually matched the truth more. Adam Walsh was in fact wearing sandals or flip-flops, green shorts, a red and white striped shirt, and his hair was dark and straight. And everything. There are so many. There was a writer, a Miami Herald writer, columnist named Fred Grimm, who he wrote this wonderful column that I quote in the book in depth. In 1996, after Ottis Toole died in prison from cirrhosis of the liver, Grimm kind of sarcastically called Ottis Toole the ultimate crime buster. And he said that Toole, after his confession frenzy, became, by the method of confessing, the most prolific mass murderer in Florida history. But then Grimm says the only mystery left unsolved was how any cop, without supporting evidence, could have believed Ottis Toole. There are, I'm trying to look at my notes here. I wanted to refer to something someone wrote in Vanity Fair. Years after Toole's death, again, he died in 1996, the Hollywood Police Department declared that Ottis Toole was the murderer of Adam Walsh. Keep in mind, he was never tried for the crime. He was declared this after his death, without any new evidence whatsoever. All of the evidence was weak. The police, in fact, lost the car. I don't know how you lose a car. They lost the car that Ottis Toole, who never had a driver's license because he couldn't pass a test, but he still drove. They lost the car that he was driving in that time period. Nevertheless, the Hollywood Police Department said that Ottis Toole was the killer, and they closed the case. And something called exceptional clearance, which I didn't even know existed, and it means that if someone's dead, you don't have to try them. You can clear the case exceptionally, and dub that person guilty. So Ron Rosenbaum is this writer's name, and he actually wrote this. I misspoke. He actually wrote this in 1990 for Vanity Fair magazine. He said he called Ottis Toole a gaunt, cadaverous 6-footer with a voice like Truman Capote's. He interviewed Ottis in prison. He says the book, and again he's referring to the Max Call book called The Hand of Death, which is just completely unbelievable, really. He says the book says you cut up the body of Becky. Ottis responded, and ate her. Rosenbaum said, did you? And Ottis said, no. Rosenbaum said, so that's a lie? And Ottis said, yeah. Rosenbaum asked him, did you ever go to a Satanist assassination training camp in the Everglades? And Ottis said, yeah. And Rosenbaum said, you did? And Ottis said, really? That whole fucking book is lies.
Wait.
Sorry.
but the thing is,
me there.
we are running out of time. We are running out of time anyway, though.
Get you.
Yeah, we've only got like another minute. We've only got like another minute and 20 seconds. What do you want to leave us with in a minute, 20 seconds?
I want to leave you with Ottis Toole is fascinating because he reflects us. He reflects what we want. We want to believe that someone is capable of killing 600 people and all of the most egregious claims, when in fact those things reflect the truth very little, if at all. And I think that is actually more interesting because it says a lot about us and about the nature of our belief than it actually says about who Ottis Toole really was.
Professor Tim Gilmore, thank you so much. JacksPsychoGeo.com. Stalking Ottis Toole, a Southern Gothic. He taught me how to say Ottis Toole today. And the latest one coming out of that book is Framing Ottis Toole. And I want you to come back and talk when the next book comes out. We can cover more of Ottis Toole, of course, as we can go on forever. And also to that other one about that preacher down there, that Baptist preacher. We're going to get you back on that too as well. Thank you so much. Good night.
No, I was just saying I'd be happy to. Anytime. Thanks, Ed. I really appreciate the space.
And now a word from our sponsors. If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
Hey, check out our brand new sponsor, Dynamic Solutions 2. That's the number 2. They offer